no one really has a strong argument against Bitcoin. For reference, I made a post in Our Investing to try and get their viewpoint on why I should not go into a 90 Bitcoin allocation. All of the replies and arguments are elementary at best. Here was the post if you want to see for yourself. I am a Bitcoiner. The argument against it is speculation ruling over use. I want a digital currency like Nakamoto proposed, not a speculative instrument for finance. I will continue to buy Bitcoin, but all the talk of price and speculation rather than use and technology is just a turn-off for me and a lot of others. The strongest argument is that it pisses off the government. Anyone who says invest in Bitcoin doesn't know what Bitcoin is. We aren't investing in Bitcoin, we're upgrading from fiat. Simple. I love how a ton of Bitcoiners are now on that post re-educating the misinformed. It's beautiful to see. The only arguments against Bitcoin that held, or sounded logical, were all end-of-the-world scenarios. 20 km high tsunami. Total disappearance of electricity. Meteorites. Someone even talked about the sun exploding. I think everyone will agree that if the sun explodes, Bitcoin won't help anyone out. These people will come around when all the financial advisors start promoting Bitcoin to get their BlackRock ETF referral fees. This will make me both happy and sad at the state of humanity, but mostly happy. Rocket full moon face. You ask about speculating in an investing sub. What did you expect? It's always a head-scratcher reading such strong opinions, that confident and that uninformed at the same time. I just read that thread. Those responses were painful to read. People in 2023 are still comparing Bitcoin to Beanie Babies. The information gap between people who really understand Bitcoin and those who don't is astonishing. Only the end of the world can stop Bitcoin. Just breezed through the thread. Made a comment or two. Wow, these people are clueless. Spouting nonsense they've heard elsewhere without knowing the first thing about Bitcoin. I find that the people who most detest Bitcoin know absolutely nothing about it. Rarely, if ever, is it someone who take a few hours to learn some basics on what it is, what it is for, and what fiat really is. Honestly, it's Bitcoin fans that scare people always. And don't even get me started on the Bitcoin maximalists. So toxic. There are many critiques of Bitcoin. There are no informed critiques of Bitcoin. To be fair, a guilty until proven extremely innocent mentality for investing is typically a winning strategy. Bro, those aren't elementary arguments. Are you okay? Listen, I'm in the BTC camp myself, but you need to understand that these viewpoints are well thought out. And that they're what non-Bitcoiners truly think. Don't belittle their time to share their opinions. Just retort with the facts of BTC and its makeup. GL 100 genuine question. But what about the environmental damage? That is what has kept me away from Bitcoin. Or crypto in general. Then what is it? Because y'all are hoarding it like gold but want to use it like currency while saying it's a stable hedge against inflation. The idea was nice, but you people are misusing and mislabeling it. What stands out skimming the replies is how emotional many of the respondents were. Bitcoin really has ticked many of these guys off because they probably were ignoring it when it was $1 a coin. Liquidity is drying up. Can't have a functional market without it. This is more concerning than orange pillars realize. Especially when you'd expect the opposite as the market approaches maturity. It can be manipulated. It's because you asked the wrong sub. Go ask the experts at the Wall Street Bets. Discounted cash flow analysis shows it's a bad investment. Here is my argument against Bitcoin. What happens when the last mining rewards are gained? There is no incentive to verify transactions beyond that point. I've made a couple of references to BTC in various investing threads. Just responding to an OP, where should I put my money? Question. Typically, I'm always shouted down. Makes me realize how early we are. The vehemence of their position is kinda staggering. I don't bother anymore. Not going to read the cross post, but there is a very long list of risks against Bitcoin, including now archaic technology, unlikely to ever be adopted as envisioned as a usable form of money, terrible energy usage backlash coming next time we have an energy crisis, better forms of crypto coming in the future, risks with quantum computing encryption and the fact it's evolved into a highly speculative investment with a near religious buyer base. Buy all you want, but let's not pretend it's riskless. You reminded me of the time I was browsing the personal finance subreddit, and somebody posted that they needed a loan so they could get out of debt. What about an EMP of some sorts? It's the only thing that left me kinda lost when I got it as a rebuttal to my suggestion to buy in. The link in your post does not take us directly to the post you're talking about that you created. Nor does your profile show in its history of posting that you created that post. Please explain. Thank you. I'll be honest, you didn't make a very good argument in your post. You just said you can't deny. Essentially, which is a super weak position. The naysayers who were arguing in good faith actually put together some cohesive arguments, even if they are wrong. In your post you say if you look at Bitcoin, the market cap is relatively small compared with other asset classes. Bitcoin is ranked in the top 20 assets by market cap, greater than Coca-Cola and PepsiCo combined. How can you say that's relatively small? I have an argument against it. Because it is priced in fist, it will eventually, if it hasn't already, fall prey to the usual suspects with deep pockets. Just like property and gold. All you need is to starve people for them to start selling it to them. It's all a matter of timing. Eggs. One basket thing. Don't do it. It is digital. It will be hacked eventually. You end up with nothing. Governments can and will regulate it. Maybe even prohibit Bitcoin. What will it be worth then? My bank or gas and water company don't accept Bitcoin. Who actually does? There is no use for it. Binance has internal bots running, driving price up. It is all fake. Even Satoshi probably isn't a real person. Put some money in it, just to keep yourself interested. But don't count on it making you rich. That ship has sailed. Look at the lifetime chart of BTC. It's like any other coin. Starts off low, hits a massive high it'll never achieve again, then drops to a more realistic level. After the drop there's a ton of shills trying to pump it back up so they can recoup their funds. This is the life cycle of every single coin in the long term. Even if we lived in a Bitcoin-dominated world, you'd still need to convert it to USD for taxes. The IRS doesn't take Bitcoin. So, no matter how big Bitcoin gets, the US dollar is required. Until Bitcoin breaks required linkage to the dollar, they are not peers, much less a replacement. The goal is to accumulate dollars as quickly and passively as possible. 10 Bitcoin rise valued in King dollars is still less than 15 rise in Pokemon cards in the same time span. Pokemon cards win. Going all in on Bitcoin, you place all your eggs in one basket. You are totally wrong on this one. Most governments have a really strong argument against can't FK their citizens in the ass with a fully decentralized currency like BTC. We already know this, Captain Obvious. Lol, it seems like people are looking for your comments just to downvote them. Tears of joy.